Here's pre-calc, it's 10.1.5. Part 2, I was working on 10-93. We already did a parabola and an ellipse, so now we're going to graph a hyperbola. Our equation for the hyperbola is x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. And then we also learned that a plus b, or a squared plus b squared equals c squared, so we'll need that to help us find the foci. So here is our equation that we started with, and so we're going to complete the square. So you get the two x terms together, and then I noticed that 25 can go into 208 times. So when I get these two together, I can factor out a 25, and then this number right here is what I completed the square with. I took half of 8 was 4, and 4 squared is 16. When I added the 16 into the parentheses, I added 25 times 16 onto the other side. And then I did something similar here with completing the square. The two y terms had a -4 and a 16, so I realized that I can factor out a 4, and I did. And then I completed the square with half of the coefficient of y, which was -2, and then square it gives it 4. When I added the 4 in the parentheses here, I actually have added -4 times 4, which is -16. So I have to add that to the other side too. And this 284 I brought over to the other side. That's why it's negative here. Now these things all add up to 100. Don't look at the bottom yet. These add up to 100. And then this is a perfect square trinomial now. It's x plus 4 squared. This is a perfect square trinomial y plus 2 squared, okay, equal to 100. And then you have to get this 1 over here, so you go ahead and divide through by 100 and then do fraction math, reducing these, or canceling out. So 25 goes into itself once, it goes into 100 4 times, that's where that 4 comes from. 4 goes into itself once, and it goes into 100 25 times, so there's that, and 100 over 100 is 1. So this gives me my equation of a hyperbola. See, it looks just like this. H and K give me my center, so I'm going to have -4 and +2 for my center. So I just you do that part first. So there's my center, and then these numbers down here tell me I need to make this box as a graphing aid. And actually some of these things, this should be a dotted line. These are asymptotes right here. And I don't know if I should have made my box a dotted line, or just know that the box is not part of the graph. It's the aid that I had to use in graphing the graph. But I need to draw it so I can graph. So this thing tells me to go, this is a squared, and actually I think it's b squared. You're supposed to put the bigger number as a and the smaller number as b. So anyway, the square root of this number tells me where to go right and left because it's under x. So in the x direction, right and left, I need to go 2 from the center. So I went right 2 and left 2. This number tells me, what to do in the y direction. So I take the square root of 25 and I go, no, that's 5, and I go up by 5 and down by 5. So I had made these little marks here, and then I just boxed them in, and then I actually did get a straight edge, a ruler, and connect the corners of the box, and those are my asymptotes, and now they're dotted lines. Okay, and then I know that my hyperbola is going to touch, how did I know it would go this way? So because the x squared is the one that's positive and the y squared is the one that has the minus sign in front of it, I know this is going to open side to side. It's going to open left and right. If this would have been a y, the y squared would have been here, and the x squared would have been over here. It would have opened up and down. So, but since I knew it opened side to side, I know that my little vertices are going to be right here. So it's going to touch right there, and then these are asymptotes. Okay, now, so then I need to find my focus. So the focus is the distance between the center the focus is the distance. Well, here, let me just show you how to get the focus. So the focus, we have to go a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 4 plus 25 equals c squared. So I get square root 29, which is 5.4. And so my focus is at -4 plus or minus 29. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's the distance between the center. So sorry, C is the distance between the center and the focus. So I have to go about 5.4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's 6. So that's why you need this a squared plus b squared equals c squared, because c is the distance between the center and the focus. And it goes to the right, and there's one over here to the left. And so when you say, what is your focus, you can just do that plus or minus thing. You can say, well, the x value, the x coordinate is -4 plus root 29 and minus root 29. So you can write it nicely like that. And then the asymptotes. So the asymptotes, that was interesting because I wanted a different equation of a line for each one. And I actually did find an equation for each of the lines. Like this one has a positive slope. It's a y equals mx plus b. It turns out b is about 12. This is the equation of this line is y equals 5/2 x plus 12. And the equation of this line, because it has a negative slope, I can just look at the slope because I can see that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes up 5 over 2, or down. This one goes down 5 over 2. I guess you could make a little triangle right there and say I went down 5 over 2. Anyway, the slope is -5/2, but right here, this is the x-intercept of this other line, which ends up being 8. Oh, I think it was supposed to be -8. Yeah, it was -8. And then when I went to look up my answer, I saw that the book gave it as something else. The book gave it as this. They said y minus 2, this is the asymptote, y minus 2 equals plus or minus 5/2 times x minus 4. And I actually, believe it or not, I actually multiplied these out to make sure that I would get the same asymptotes that I got before, and it worked. So I think it's easier to do it the book's way than the way I did it. The way I did it might make more sense to you because you can see that it has a slope and it has the intercepts, and so you're welcome to keep doing it that way. Or you can do it this way. So this way is kind of nice because you can go, it's y minus 2, and you can get your minus 2 right here. And x plus 4, which, see, there's your x plus 4. plus or minus 5/2. So the 5/2 comes from the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 4 is 2. So that's how we formed this box right here. So that and the asymptotes are going across the diagonal of the box. So that's what gives you your slope. So I hope that makes sense. I think we've answered all their questions. So yeah, there's the center, there's the foci, and there's the asymptote. Good luck.